Welcome back, world. Jack of all spades, CLT, back like we never left. You know what time it is. I am the beloved one, DJ Spellman. To my left, we have the pride of Africa, Ken Wabibi.
Yo, it's YBB, pride of Africa. Shout out Botswana. Shout out Botswana. Golly.
Botswana in it. To my right, we got the boy, Banks on the beat.
Banks on the beat, Blue Water Banks, Fat Boy Tires, Alex Padriguez. That's my new thing I got.
All right.
Okay.
Alex Padriguez.
Fat Boy Tires 3700.
Wilkinson Boulevard, the hub. You know us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And today, our special guest is Miss Britney Chandler.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
What's happening?
Glad that you could make time for us. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
All right. So, the title of your episode is Lover of Words and Literary Enthusiast.
Nice.
That's you, right?
That is me.
Make sure the research team did their job.
Yeah, y'all did it.
All right, cool. All right, so let's get straight into it. So, how we actually met you, you and your boyfriend came to one of our Kick Life by the Balls kickball events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can you just tell the world how great of an event it was?
No, it was a great event. We appreciate coming out. He had a really good time. It was too hot for me to play kickball, so I just hung out with some puppies. But no, it was
out there?
no, it was nice, good food, fellowship, meeting new people, so it was good.
Whole vibe in it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, we want to start off by giving you your flowers. You're a college professor, a published author. Shout out to Avery Stone.
Yeah.
Poet, podcaster. A Peculiar Podcast is the name of the podcast. A blogger, Everything That's Me. You also had 2 magazine articles written about you, Voyage ATL and Shout Out Atlanta. Want to talk about those?
Well,
Talk
you.
about them.
Yeah.
Speak on it. You know?
Yeah, I'm grateful for all of those things. I feel like I do a little too much, but I like to get my hand into everything, which is kind of how that podcast came up. It's like, well, let me just step into that atmosphere a little bit. But just, again, grateful for everything that I've been able to do and always grateful for those opportunities.
All right.
All right, well, we definitely got to big you up for, I'm sure you have many missions, but one that the research team found was you want to help students achieve their dreams. So what made you want to become an educator?
So the crazy thing, well, maybe not crazy, I never wanted to be an educator. That was never my goal. Even though I was an English major, people already assumed that, oh, you're going to be a teacher. No, that was never a goal of mine.
Yeah.
It kind of started years ago when I was in high school. My basketball coach, he had a class, it's a freshman academy class at my high school, and he asked me to come in and teach some freshmen different principles, do activities. That's kind of where it stemmed from. Both my parents are educators, so I think it was just in my blood.
Definitely does.
Yeah, so more recently, I was a recruiter for a college, and I just happened to talk to the dean of the English department, and we just started talking about my background and some of my credentials, and I started teaching English, and that's where I got my foot wet into being an educator.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of where it came from.
Word. Well, I mean, with me being an educator, I always got to big us up because it's definitely not for everyone.
True.
And, you know, with you dealing with higher, upper education, higher ed, they would say, and me dealing with, more K through 12, I know the kind of students you get there, they're at a different mindset by the time they get to you. So hopefully our job is K through 12, like we're sending them on with the right stuff before they get to you.
Yeah, hopefully. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Some
up.
of them still do the same thing that they were in high school, but then we also have, especially at a community college, we have adults and grandparents that come in, so that's a whole, other type of thing you have to work with, too.
True. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Banks highlighted the novel in the Just Giving You Your Flowers, Angie Stone. It's an urban tale of a young woman's struggle to find love in herself as the beginning of a new chapter. A wise person once said, does art imitate life or does life imitate art? Angie Stone, The Beautiful Story by Britney Chandler. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, so it's Avery Stone.
Avery, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's good.
I love
It's
Angie
fine.
Stone, too.
Maybe we'll add her in the novel, Yeah.
Avery Stone.
So a lot of people always ask me, is it the story of my life? And it is not the story of my life.
Don't lie. Don't lie on Sunday.
It's
Don't lie on
not.
Sunday.
It's not the story of my
Some
life.
of it-
I'll say it like this. Some of the characteristics of her friends, like were her best friend, are characteristics of my best friend. So that's kind of how that's rolled into. Some of of the guys she's dated are characteristics of guys that I've dated. There are 2 scenarios that have actually happened in my real life, but I'm not going to say what they are. That's
Okay.
just,
You
for
gotta
me
read
to
it.
Yeah,
you
you
just
gotta
got to read
pick
to find
it up.
out.
In fact, you should have brought the book, but I should have.
Oh,
told
I
you.
have it. Oh, yeah, it's in the car. I do have it. But anyway, so yeah, just some parts of my life, of course, are intertwined within that. But a lot of it came from my imagination. I basically wanted to give a story that I didn't see on the shelf. That's really where that came from. I didn't see a story like that, and I wanted to be able to relate to other people that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It took you 5 years to write the book. Yeah. A process. I respect it.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But can you tell us, like, some of the things you might have went through putting this book together? Because I know it wasn't an easy journey.
It was definitely a journey. So when I was working on my novel, I was recruited for a college. I was working on my master's. I was teaching on the side. I was doing stuff at my church. It was a lot going, which is why it took 5 years to get done. So I don't know. It really took me to sit down and focus on, especially the last year. I really wanted to, I'm like, you know what? If I don't get this done now, it's not going to happen.
Right. So
just that uphill battle of trying to make sure that it's quality, but then also not wanting to take forever to get it done. So yeah, I'm happy I was able to get it done.
how did you feel when you finally got it done?
A couple of different things. One was relief, that I finally got something tangible, like, okay, cool, it's done. But then the fear started creeping, like, wait a minute, okay, so what do I do now? I have to get a publisher, and I'm actually going to be an author, and what is that going to look at? So I didn't give myself too much time to sit and embrace that, which I wish I would have. But, we live and we learn. But, yeah, so it was a great feeling at first, and then I just wanted to know what was next.
Okay.
Well, definitely let's celebrate you. Like, we gave you the flowers, but there are a lot of people walking around this earth right now that say they want to do something and never get around to doing it.
Yeah.
So you talking about you didn't get the opportunity to embrace it, but you are a published author. Not everybody
Yeah.
can say that.
True.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. And just keeping it on that tip, myself,
Yeah.
I am an aspiring author. So what is some advice you can give to people like me and then the others that are listening that potentially want to write a book?
So it's hard for me to give advice because I'm new, like I haven't been in the game for a long time writing. So, but there's 3 things that I would always tell someone who wants to write. One, well, maybe more than 3. I'm not going to put a number on it. So one is just do it. Number 1, just
19, okay.
Yeah, seriously, just sit down and start writing and see where it goes. Don't have, so many goals and, kind of ruin it that way and just let it happen naturally. Making sure that you have consistency in that, you focus on what you're doing. And my last thing is really just be true to yourself. Somebody's waiting on your story. Somebody's waiting on what you have to say. You don't know who you're going to relate to. So don't compare yourself to other writers. Don't think that it's not good enough. If it's in you, just make sure you do that.
I love
That's
all
my
of
biggest
that.
thing, yeah.
I love all of that.
So, what inspired the Peculiar podcast?
So the full title is Life with Britney, a Peculiar Podcast. It took me forever to come up with a name. I'm really bad at names. Like, it took me a long time to come up with a name for my novel too. But so there's 2 folds to why I chose Peculiar. One, it comes from the scripture in the Bible. It's 1 Peter 2:9, and it talks about being a peculiar people, royal priesthood, things like that. And so I took upon that. And then also, if you put peculiar into Google, first thing comes up is odd and strange. And if you don't know me, I'm a little odd. I'm a little quirky. My students think I'm quirky, which I think it just works for them. So I was like, well, that works for me. I think that's a good word. So let's go with it. So that's where it came from.
I want to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
In writing, okay, it's also familiar. You might be into poetry. Have you ever performed spoken word?
No.
Never?
No.
Okay.
I don't like my voice, and I know that sounds crazy. Like, my head voice sounds great to me, and then when I hear, I'm like, who is this? I don't like it. So I think you have to have a certain cadence for spoken word. I never want to take away from that. So poetry is always my first love. I love writing it, but to perform it, I like other people to perform my stuff.
Gotcha.
I won't do
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Those writing.
Yeah, basically.
All right, so we're going to hit a little slight transition. So you taught public speaking, yes?
Yeah, still do.
All right, you still do.
Yeah.
Good. So what is the wildest topic one of your
Yeah.
students talked about in your class?
So
Of course, no names.
Well, yeah, of course. Because I don't like surprises in my classroom, I've learned from that. I always make them submit their topic for approval. So a lot of wild topics have never made it to presentation day.
That's no fun.
Well, listen, try to protect myself and protect my students. That's another thing. Like when you're in the classroom, like, you're over, your class. So I just want to make sure that, nobody's surprised with some crazy things. But some topics that I've gotten, one student wanted to bring in a Ouija board and show us how that process was. And I was like, that's not going to happen in this class.
That would have been a great class.
That was, it could have went real left, right? And I was just like, ooh, I don't know about that. And so we flipped it and just let them talk about it instead of bringing it in. So that kind of worked out.
Nice.
That's really, I don't know. There's just so many different ones that I can't really come to mind. But a lot of students want to come in and do some things that they think would be a good topic. But it's just like, no, let's just kind of regroup from that. Yeah.
All right. So the research team has dug deep into your IG account.
Yeah.
Dig up the research team. So they found this post from December 18th back in 2017, which is an almost great day because my birthday is December 19th.
Okay, look at there.
But I digress. So the post was, people put in minimum effort and expect maximum results. I definitely agree with that, but why do you think that is?
I don't have an exact answer, of course, to that. One of my thoughts on that is it's based off society, I think. We're so used to having things instantly. We have things at a click of the button. We can order something. We can, just have everything so quick. And so I think people think all they have to do is just put in minimum effort and they're supposed to get these maximum results. A better example could be, if you see on Instagram, you have the before and after of people. And a lot of people see the before and they see the after. They don't see the in-between. And they don't understand that in-between took work, sacrifice, tears, and everything to get there. And I think we miss that middle part. And so I think that's why people, just think they can just do a little bit to get a lot.
That's a fact. You had a blog post entitled Close Off. Can you break down the message on that?
Yes.
Let's go deep in it.
Let's see. So that was based off a song, and I'm probably going to butcher her name, so I apologize. I think it's Ellie Air, I think, who wrote that. Well, she remade that song. And the song is talking about we don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. And so the basis of that poem was about a woman who had given herself to a man, and she wanted him to see her more than just the physical, more than just, having sex. And so throughout the poem, you kind of see that struggle between that. Like, she loves it, but she also wants to be seen in another light. And at the very end, she's just telling him that I hope that you see me for who I am, and I hope that we can have those, passionate moments without having passion, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what that was about.
Facts. In your opinion, why do you think people focus on the physical aspects?
Because it's easier. I think that would be my first answer. I think it's easier. Some people would rather jump in bed than jump into a conversation. It's hard to, or you don't want to build up that relationship as far as having those tough conversations, having those meeting of the mind moments. I think it's hard for people to do, or they've seen those things fail so much in their lives that they're like, well, let's just be physical. It's just easy. You don't really have to think about it. So that could be part of it. Of course, society plays a big role into that. Movies, Instagram, different things. You see the physical all the time. And so I think, that might be why people gravitate to that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your faith is very important to you. We all can benefit from getting closer to God.
Straight up.
Any advice you give to anybody who's struggling with their faith?
First, you're not alone. It's everybody, right? I think people struggle with their faith because you have an expectation for something and you have a time for something, and when that doesn't get met when you want it, then your faith can falter. The biggest part about faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Is that not seen part that I think we struggle with, even now, like not knowing,
Right.
What's going on. The biggest thing is, honestly, just talk to God about it. I know that sounds real basic, but seriously, one, he already knows what's up, okay? That's the first thing. But really just sitting down, expressing yourself. It doesn't have to be neat and clean. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just express yourself and talk about what's bothering you, what's stressing you out. And then you will, it sounds crazy, but you will feel that peace. You'll either get peace or you get perspective, or you'll get both and know what to do from there. And then again, know that you're not alone. Reach out to other people, have those conversations, be honest about what you're feeling. I think when you're not honest, whether it's faith or whatever, you're not honest about how you're feeling, you can't correct it or can't improve it. So that's another component of that.
Facts. People need to vent.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, no feedback without that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we definitely talked about all that you have going on. So what is the plan for Ms. Chandler in like the near future?
The near future, I would love to be a full-time writer. That is the goal. That is the dream. Do I know if it's going to happen? I have no idea, but that's the goal. So Avery 2 will be completed by December, Lord willing. That's what we're working on.
Add in that new character.
Right, Angie Stone. Yeah, we'll add her in there for sure. She'll be an auntie or something. Sounds like an auntie name. But yeah, to be a full-time writer is the goal. I would like to advance in my podcast. It's still new. I think I might have 8 episodes, so I'm still trying to figure out what direction that's going to go into. So I want to see that grow. Just kind of see where life takes me.
Man, she's a step above us. We didn't even figure it out, and we didn't get started. We were just waiting. We're gonna figure this out before we get started.
Yeah.
At least you started, so you know.
Straight up.
That's a big step.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you say you want to expand on the writing, so that means more books to come. You're going to do like maybe magazine articles, or even probably write a screenplay or write movies, just strictly just in the book film.
That'd be fire.
It's really good. I don't know. So I can see, even for Avery, I already saw when I was writing it, I can see the movie for it. So I would love to screenwrite, really dive into what that looks like. I do have a poetry book that's pending. Poetry is really vulnerable to me, at least. Like Avery's not about me. My poetry usually is about me. So it's really hard for me to like, okay, let me go ahead and present that. So I still want to definitely, again, dab into screenwriting. I'm kind of open. Anything that lets me write, I'm good with. Yeah.
So what publisher are you with?
I'm currently with Archway Publishing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if Avery 2 is going to be with them or not. I'm trying to still wing it. I would love to get with a publisher who really wants to help the author. I think that's sometimes the struggle with writers. You get a good publisher as far as the editing gets done, the logo, all that, you know, those things get done. But really standing behind the author, giving them publicity, giving them, you know, things to do, tools to work with without charging them like $10,000. You know, it's a little rough to find. So that's what I would like to. I would love to open my own publishing company, but
I know a guy that's done something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
he might can help you out with that.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, Britney, thank you for making time for us.
I appreciate
Can
it.
you please let the listeners, the supporters know where they can find you? So shout out all your socials.
So it's easy for me. If you just go to Instagram and you'll go to Britney Charmaine, all my stuff is on there. So you just look at my bio, my podcast link is there, the articles, my YouTube, everything is already there. Okay. So you just go to Britney Charmaine on Instagram and you can find everything else.
All right, so y'all heard that. Follow at Britney Charmaine on IG to get all of her websites, the blog, the podcast,
everything's on there. Yep.
Will you be ready to play kickball the next time we play?
Oh, yeah,
I will.
Yeah.
I will, long as the sun is not too hot. I don't play with the heat. Yeah.
All right, good people. So you've heard Britney Charmaine Chandler.
Yes,
I guess
sir. You got it. Yeah.
There we go. You know what time it is. It's Jack of All Spades. You know you can find us on Instagram at Jack of All Spades CLT, Facebook Jack of All Spades. Go to Spotify, go to Apple, go to Google, go to SoundCloud. You can watch the episode on YouTube when it comes out. And of course, Breaker. I actually downloaded the app, so big up Breaker.
You gotta prove that. You gotta prove
I'm not
that.
gonna listen to it on Breaker, but I downloaded it. I wanted to see if it was a real thing, but it is. But I am the beloved one.
It's your boy YBB. Shout out one time. I'm gonna say shout out. I don't know why, but shout out one time to Botswana.
Botswana in it.
Oh, I thought he was gonna hand it to me. I just gotta come get it. Banks, Blue Order Banks, Fat Boy Tires, Pop Woodson. I guess now, right?
And of course, we have Britney Charmaine Chandler, aka Avery Stone.
That's it, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Where can you find the book, though?
Yes.
Where can you find it?
So it's on Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon. It's also archwaypublishing.com. If you go again to my Instagram, everything is literally on there. So in my link, you'll see the link to all those mediums there.
All right, so tell the listeners and the supporters, why should they buy the book?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Critical.
Okay.
Yes. Right now, on the spot.
I'm a terrible salesperson. I will say, for me, honestly, not just because I wrote it, Avery Stone is a really good read. It's very honest. It speaks about real life things. She deals with her boyfriend. She deals with other lovers coming into play. She deals with her best friend, jobs. all different types of relationships. It's what you go through every day, but to see somebody else go through it the way she does, I think it's going to be really relatable. Of course, we have to put God in it too, and so she kind of struggles with that relationship too. So I think it's just a good read. It's fun and it's honest. So yeah, go get it.
All right, so y'all heard that. Avery Stone, Barnes & Noble.
Yep.
Everywhere. Archway Publishing.
Yep. Amazon.
Go get it. Go get it.
Please
All
do.
right. So you know how we close this thing out.
Always.
Shout out Fife Dog, A Tribe Called Quest. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. And we out.